Hello and welcome back to episode 21 of Keeping It Real with Strix. Most of yesterday while I was running my game and everything else, I left this running, so it's got a lot of the processing done. Still have a lot of silver and platinum to make it through, and the other things in the refineries, which is mostly platinum right now, but it's making it. I did, however, completely fill up the Imhotep, which it has not been this full before. I should absolutely be able to weld up the rest of what I have built over there for a shell. So, go work on that. Oh my goodness. It doesn't want to let me go. Not enough thrust power to go up. Just outright. I have to actually give it some forward momentum first. Yeah, I thought I had enough for this to move nice while it was fully loaded. It does still have plenty of gyros though, so I do have enough gyros on it. I need more thrust. Or I might just go ahead and keep making do with this thing being slow and sluggish until I've got the capability of making my large ship version of this, my large ship builder. Okay, it cannot go side to side. So heavy. I actually need to make sure that I'm watching my live stream so that I can actually see any chat from you guys. So setting that up while I'm trying to maneuver this thing, that is not easy. But restart my YouTube app here. Get back into my channel and onto my live stream. Come on, Imhotep. Work with me a little bit. I shouldn't have to watch you the entire time. Just gonna scrape around here and get this all welded up. And there we go. Now I've got my live stream up so I can see it. For when someone shows up. I am ever the optimist. Which actually works out really well with the relationship dynamic between my wife and I. She is a cynic and a pessimist. So it works to have good relationship dynamics where one of you is on the more negative spectrum and one on the more positive spectrum. Because just because cynicism and pessimism are on the negative spectrum does not mean that they are useless. My goodness. I need to get more of this welded up quickly so that I can just maneuver this thing better. Come on, Imhotep. You can do this. Go into third person because I don't want to slam into things here. It looks like a little bit of this I am going to actually have to get by hand because I did not give myself enough room to get the Imhotep in there. But, you know, it isn't exactly a tiny ship. Oh, it took that long to be able to get it to line up where I wanted, and now it's just drifting the other direction. Come on. Get over here, Imhotep. Okay, so I am noticing here that I probably should not use all of this cargo space. This is really hard to maneuver. I mean, I'm making it work, but man, so difficult. Okay, and there's a conveyor there. I'm not sure if I have the stuff to weld up the conveyor junction. Oh, I do. Lucky me. And I had assembled a lot of parts for those before. I just wasn't sure if I had used up all those parts or not. There we go, able to get an extra one in too. So that's all of the conveyors up top actually are completed. Oh, I see you down there, you little corner. Weld ye up. I think I'm riding too low. So many sparks flying. It's working out. I'm not damaging anything. Just throwing a lot of sparks. I'm laughing at people in Johnny Free Roam's channel because, well, I've got my phone on to be able to see the stream chat. I'm of course seeing all of the different Discord bombards. I only belong to like 18 different servers or somewhere around there. I may spend too much time on Discord. That being said, real easy place to be able to run into me because I like hanging out in my asylum or in the Chrono Conquest Discord. I do hang out in there less often, but I'm paying attention to what's said in there at all times, which is why I have pretty good responses in there. Overall, I probably respond better in the Chrono Conquest than I do the Freeman Asylum, or the Firemind Asylum. Come on. At one point in time, I was using my last name, and it was the Freeman Asylum. So I'm not entirely wrong there. And then it was the Chrono Conquest Discord. And then all of my friends and some of my followers from here started jumping in. I'm like, maybe I should split that up and put Chrono Conquest somewhere else. Whoa, come on. Don't slam into that. Just do your job and move. There we go. What's left to weld? This over here, and then of course I've got 10 gyroscopes, if I remember correctly the number. So I'll have to get the parts for those. Well, a lot of that is steel, actually, and I have steel. So let's see if I can slip down over the side and get this steel into those gyroscopes from underneath. I really hope that works, because otherwise I have to go in, tear them apart in there, and mess with all of the numbering. So let's just get over the bottom of the ship here, the bottom of the station. throw on some brakes. Okay, so I saw them sparking, which means they were welding something in there. Well, the particular spark they threw was a welding spark, I think. Let's go a bit more forward. Not seeing any more weld sparks, just scrape sparks. Okay, you turn off so I can get out here and go look at that. I came in on this side. So does this first one have any steel in it? No. So I'm going to have to do these by hand. And that's going to be fun. Unrealistic. Let me turn on my lights so we can all see in here. Okay, I got really turned around there. So I hope the fact that I keep my mouse on an insanely high DPI doesn't really mess with any of my viewers. I try to make sure I'm not moving things super quickly, but I never give myself much mouse room. It's very useful, therefore, to have that super high DPS. I actually don't move my mouse more than an inch or so. And that's for like a full 360 no scope on someone. I forgot how expensive these are and how many trips I'm going to have to make. So let's grab you and give you a better angle to this door that I'm coming out of. Which again is where I'm going to wind up putting my docking arm for the station here. Come on, stop. There we go. Quit running away. So let's grab a bunch of steel. These cost 500 steel a piece. Sorry, 600 steel a piece. That is expensive. Well, I'm trying to grab things out with Build Planner. That's not going to work for me. I don't have anything on Build Planner right now. I should just go ahead and set up the one on the other side as well. Since I'm going to have to get these, I guess, 2 at a time overall. I do think the station needs bare minimum 6 gyroscopes. I hope that'll be enough, but we will see. Not stew, steel. Alright. Get back to stacking this full of stuff. So I've got almost all the steel in there. Why are you not welded up? Let's go to a different cargo. There we go, that works out better. Ouch. Okay, there's all the steel for that one. Put that on the Build Planner. Start throwing steel into this one. And once I've got all that steel in there, I can throw it onto the Build Planner too. Ouch. I do not know how I'm doing all this bashing against walls and I'm not hurt myself yet. I'm also flying right in front of a thruster that's partially on and not getting hurt. But then again, I'm not flying right into that fire. Flying into fire would be a bad idea. Back and forth, billion times. You know, I bet I could make a much smaller build ship that could get into these one block spaces. It would have to be a drone, but I'm pretty sure I could do it. Just not sure how effective it would be. The little one block sized drones tend to work a lot better in things like a drilling ship or a drilling drone. Let's go throw all that back in there and go get some parts going. There are none on the station, so I'll have to throw those into production. Fortunately though, I have more than enough iron at this point to actually get things done. At least one can hope. Go ahead and move everything from the refineries over. Come on. There we go. Get all that set back round. And there's a full load to work on getting one of these up. I also marked out where I want the hangar to be, so this will be the end of the hangar. I'll put the hangar door on this block here, which means there's just a couple of blocks holding this station onto the asteroid here. Which will make it very easy to detach when it's time. Let's get back in here and... Oh, there's the damage I was looking for bumping into things. Let's come back over here to my survival kit, heal up a little bit, get some energy. That is a good question. That being said, the station is on a completely different grid, so it's not got access to anything over here. Otherwise, that would work great. I also haven't put a connector on here yet. But, hello there, Anon. Overall, I was hoping I would have been able to weld them up through the floor with my Imhotep. It just did not work out that well, or that way. Which is sad, because I need the floor here to be able to place them to begin with. So I'll actually probably just get 4 on there and see if that works, and if not, tuck them into the hangar space. The rest of them, because that'll be a lot easier to get the Imhotep around in. So it'll only be a couple thousand more trips into here. Man, I'm getting really good at going through that mess of corridor in there. And if I was planning on ever actually being down here looking at it, I probably would have used corridor blocks. That's about the space I left. I keep flying all the way over there, though. I could at least just go to the connector and shorten my trip. There we we go. That's 2 gyroscopes. I've actually got this all powered up now and everything, so I can actually go ahead and cut this from here. Because with those 2 gyros, it should be able to turn. What, do I have unsupported stations turned on? I was pretty sure I had turned that off. Actually, that might be good enough. Of course, that's while it's empty. There's no cargo on here just yet. Wait. Why didn't you finish welding up? Alright, so let's go ahead and say that those 2 in there right now are enough. And this station is meant to be a temporary measure to be able to get to a bigger, better station. So let's get the Imhotep up here. It is still very full of steel plates. Hide the empty. Yeah. Turn brakes back on because I just kept drifting. I actually am not trying to return this. I was just trying to come over towards the rear so I can have this to help me have steel nearby. Almost hit that rock. It does, actually. You are quite correct about that. The funny thing is, for the shapes here, I was just looking at what it is that I wanted to put into the ship and what purpose I want for it to have. Grab my 124 steel that I can. So I've got this much space for hangar. That's actually probably too much. Like, I don't think I actually need to park the Imhotep in here because I am tearing this outpost apart, but I'm just going to build up a better base in its place. So let's look at my ship here. It is about how many blocks long? Change my angle. 1, 2, 3. So make that 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 will give me plenty of room for leeway. And shortening this up will also make it quite a bit easier to maneuver, requiring less of the gyroscopes. And now if I can just bring the Imhotep down closer to that. At least the forward and backward thrust on this works out pretty decent, but man, this ship is heavy. I was not expecting how heavy I could make this ship. And just turn it sideways. Get lots of light coverage and access to my cargo. Proteus, eh? No, I had not decided on a name of it yet. And that actually sounds pretty good. So let's go in here, sit down, info. And there we go. The Proteus. There's also the fact that the pro prefix there is also rather fitting for something that's the beginnings of mobile base. Alright. I have a lighter in one hand, a cigarette in the other, and I have not put the two together, and it's making things quite a bit difficult on mouse and keyboard. I should do something about that. Ouch. Okay. So how wide do I need this to be? I think that's only about 5 wide, so if I go with 7, I'll give myself some more room here. Yeah, let's go for 9 instead. There we go. That brings it in closer to inline with the front of the station. And I actually probably want to corner these ends off to make them look better. If I could stop hitting wrong buttons. Try and keep the same design language I started with last week when I started working on this thing. Which I would say is probably the worst thing about realistic, is how long it takes you to get a simple little project like this done. If I were playing under the standard like ×3 inventory and all those rules that you have in a standard game that you start, I would have already had this station done. It would have taken 1 episode to lay out the blueprint, 1 episode to build it. It also wouldn't have been near as challenging, which is probably what makes this fun for people to watch. Now, just for shits and giggles, let's go ahead and move the Linhart over there. Make sure I've got that sized right. Before I actually do any welding of these pieces. It should be a tight fit, but it should fit. Yeah, so I need this to go out 1 more on this side. If I had been thinking about it, I needed that anyway because I need a hangar door. So, take that out, solid block, and then an angle, and I'll have my hangar door here. So, 1, 2, there's the range covered by your hangar door. This is the base, and then it goes up to 1, 2, 3, and then I can, right here, be able to hook that over. And right there I have room for the hangar doors already planned. And that fits just perfect in there, as long as I remember to turn off my thrusters and such. There is one problem here. This should go back 1 more so that I can actually walk into it. Whoop. Jumping into my thruster hole for some reason. So yeah, let's just go ahead and take it to here. That'll give me plenty of room to walk around. Yeah. I also like using the curves, but I had started out with the angles and the 2x1s, so try to keep that same design language. In the past, I've messed with mixing design language. You wind up with some pretty ugly looking ships that way if you're not careful. And it can absolutely work for you. Maybe you're going for an ugly ship, like something that looks like it's been put together from 90 different craft, which I've done those before too. Oh. Get all this walled in properly. Yeah, I am leaving room for my thruster there. I should probably put an airlock on here because actually the rest of the station, whoops, I did not go high enough there. The rest of the station is pressurized and the hangar is not going to really be able to be, so even if it's just a little airlock losing time. Wait, how have I messed up here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, because I'm only counting the interior spaces and forgetting that I need the base up top on this. It is actually really difficult to talk and play at the same time, unless you're specifically talking about what you're doing. I guess that's why a lot of streamers wind up looking pretty goofy on stream with what they're doing in game, or sounding goofy. Like, humans don't multitask well. Let's see. Can't put anything right there because that's going to be burned. So this is what I'm thinking right here. I'm going to need a basic airlock in here, a 2 sliding doors airlock. So let's go ahead and grab those sliding doors. It will lose a little bit of air each time, but it will keep me from completely depressurizing the entire station. No, I really like large grid ships overall. I'm better at designing small grid ships, but that doesn't keep me from trying to build a nice big ship. I'm actually wanting to take my small grid miner, my small grid welder ship, and the grinder that I'm going to be making as well, and make large grid versions of those once I've got the materials to make a much larger mobile station. Honestly, this I keep calling it a station. It's probably closer to a mobile outpost. Okay, I'll duck down to walk under there. Noted. I can still get around anyway, though, so that's what matters. And I'm walking. Why am I walking? Because I had hit caps lock. But yeah, just need to put my modules on these, but the primary purpose for this is the 2 large cargo, 2 small cargo containers, filling those up with ore and ingots from whatever stone I get, because that's what this is set up for, is just to grab stone and throw it into that refinery. And I gave myself more assemblers on this little mobile outpost than I have on my actual base. My base right now just has the one moduled up assembler. Oh, right. I know what you're talking about. The if you're using the passage blocks and like setting it up with the opening there like that, makes the typical square hole much less boring. This is true. I should probably do that on all of these ion and hydrogen thrusters. Thanks for that idea. I am not terribly good at the greebling side of things. In fact, until a couple months ago, I didn't even know that word. Always gotta miss with at least one block. Man, it's getting hard to see over here. Gonna have to get these laid down and welded up so I can see what's going on in the hangar space. And I still need to come through and do the conveyor network on the underside, as well as putting my primary ion thrusters in. And I need to sneak a couple of small hydrogen tanks in here. Which reminds me, since I'm not going to be putting any more gyroscopes in here, I've got this space right there. Perfectly sits 2 small hydrogen tanks to fuel up those boosters. And then I can put my docking arm right here on the front with the square piston. But I need a lot more steel. Yeah, I'm always watching YouTube myself, and most of what I watch is Space Engineers content. I just always find it entertaining. There's hundreds of us playing the game with thousands of different build ideas. And what I used to build all the time is pretty much just tubes. So I am getting a lot better at throwing down decent looking shapes. Oh, I did not put those on my build planner. So getting the rest of those parts is going to be difficult. Go ahead and drop the steel off in here. Oh, I have some of the stuff on here actually. Ow. There's a lot of tubes needed for that. And how many large steel tubes do I have on here? 40, 87. Yeah, I probably have enough. Go ahead and take the Imhotep back there again. Just turn off the dampers, let it drift. And things like this is why I'm okay with it not being exactly the most maneuverable. In realistic settings, a bit of patience goes a long way. A lot of patience will take you all the way. Oh yeah, those large steel tubes take up a lot of space. I wonder if I could wiggle one of my welders into there, because I do have a bit of space to attempt it. Let's go ahead and go with number 4. That gives the port camera for the port welder. See if I can jam that in this hole. It's not going to let me see from the camera as well as I had hoped. Okay, it's in there. Is that welding things up? Let's see if I can look in there without welding myself up. Nope. It was an idea. It failed. Maybe next time, put them a bit farther apart and with a bit longer bit that I can shove into there. Of course, the next one's going to be large grid, so it's just not even going to work like that at all. And now I've got it turned funny. But there we go. I've got one of these hydrogen tanks going up. And I believe I already threw some ice on here. I had a temporary connector I threw up top to get a bunch of ice into it. And that's because I'm working on mushroom farming in here in my med bay on here, on the Proteus. Which actually I haven't checked on my mushrooms in a while. I should see how those are doing. I had composted quite a few of those to get more organic material to make more of them. So let's just get back in here. And because I'm trying to keeping it real, I don't have any gravity. I'm not allowing myself artificial gravity. Let's see, 660 mushrooms. I want to take 200 of those back to my outpost and hide them from the system and get this composter turned back on. Make more organic material. Yeah, I've got enough room to walk around there. It's a tight little hangar, but it will certainly do the job. Let's just shove these in here. Now, when it comes to the steak and mushrooms, I need raw meat, so I do have to go back to the planet and go kill wolves. So, very glad I still have my Colony 1 ship that got me up here. And let's see, anything I can look at on the base directly to look at the system? Nope, I have to go in. I did give myself, in my little apartment in here, cargo access, so let's see how much ice I have overall in here. 7K ice, so it should be filling up those tanks for me. 4.6%, 2.8. So this means I actually have fuel and can move. If I didn't have my welding ship right out in front of this, I almost ran over it. Let's go move the ammo temp. Just get underneath here for now and hang out. Because I just want to pull this thing out away from the asteroid, have a better look at it. Maybe see if I can get it into the sunlight so that we can all see better what's going on here. I should also just raise you a little bit so that it pulls evenly away from there. So it does not turn very fast. It doesn't really need to turn fast or move fast, though. I just need it to be able to carry cargo and use the jump drive to get me back here. But there we go. Let's grab the Imhotep. I still have plenty of steel in here, so I can use that to get to welding this bit. Some of it's going to have to be cut out for the conveyor for the Linhart. And I should probably go and park the Linhart itself real quick. Let's make sure this stops first. Close enough. Upside down, turned around. Isn't space fun? No actual directions anywhere. Just relative. Actually, you know what? Let's leave that one free so I've got the closest thing to the Proteus to get parts. This thing's got so much power while it's empty.
Ship fuel low.
And barely enough power when it's full. Just like the Linhart, or the Imhotep. Actually, it's got a lot more power when it's full than the Imhotep. This thing has too much cargo or too little thruster, or both. Hilariously, it just now told me that I went live and should watch myself. And it kicked me out of the stream to where I couldn't see the chat for a while there without telling me it had done so. Wait. Yeah, I'm still streaming. So why won't it let me watch my stream to see my chat? Oh, I don't have any up thrust on that. Or down thrust. I've got to get that top thruster completed very quickly now. Because the Proteus is drifting. I forgot that I did not have all directions covered with the boosters. And that's all that's online right now. But I do have some upper thrust here that I can turn on. And in the meantime, use the very thing that started it moving to potentially stop it. Nothing on the build planner, so let's get this and try to get it put together quickly. Fortunately, I'm pretty sure I have all the stuff to get it completed. It's just these thruster components are heavy. Well, when you're playing on realistic, everything is heavy. Because you just don't have any carry room. Okay, so this will stop it from drifting upward. I have forward, reverse, port, and starboard all covered with the boosters right now. So maybe I should complete one of these to make sure that it doesn't go down either. Would not be a bad idea. There, no more drifting. Behave, Proteus. Come on, accelerate. And get back underneath here. I need to go get water and food. I'm gonna die of dehydration soon. And at least now I won't be missing what's going on in the chat. I got that problem figured out. I have all of my food and drink in the
Ship
Imhotep
fuel
right now.
critical.
It's just yelling at me because the batteries are low. Because I don't think the reactor is on right now. Nope. And the batteries for the outpost fully depleted in 2 minutes. So it's about to hit that power switch and go from batteries to reactor and solve that issue. Food and belly. I also noticed that what I had said last episode has been fixed. When I was playing with this mod before, if you were in the middle of drinking and you ate something, you immediately just cut off what you were doing for drinking and wasted some of your water. Now they won't even let you do that at all. You cannot eat while you're in the middle of drinking or drink while you're in the middle of eating. Which is a pretty good choice overall. Because it was not fun wasting specifically food. Water is easy to get. You just need steel plates, or not steel plates, you just need iron to be able to make your tin cans. And ice. There you go. Bottles of water or cans of water. Really easy. Food, bit more problematic. Like, you can find chips and stuff. I still haven't figured out how to find fruits and vegetables to grow. But at least mushrooms just kind of grow on their own. Mushrooms are easy. But to be able to grow things like apples or wheat, you need apples or wheat to get started. So I do check a lot of the unknown signals, hoping to find things of said nature, but I haven't found any yet. I have found a lot of the normal game food items like lies, potato chips, and such. No fruits and veg. Not that I personally care that much. It just means that my character is eating like me right now. Pretty much pure meat and fungus. Do love me some mushrooms though. Okay, there we go. Whoa. Trying to do this primarily with forward and reverse, where I've got the large thrusters pointing. Still not quite working out right, but I'm trying. This is so much faster than trying to do it by hand, though, even with how hard it is to maneuver the ship this full. Because I don't have to make a billion trips back and forth. Like, I carry enough steel plates at a time with me that I would be able to weld up 4.5 blocks. That's it. Imhotep, drive the way I tell you. There we go. How am I doing overall on steel? So like I said at the beginning, I have had this thing slapped full. Which was about 480,000 iron ingots to fill this thing with steel plates. I did a lot of iron mining and a lot of iron processing yesterday when I just had this running. And speaking of things I was doing yesterday, I was not able to sleep last night, so I was up all night last night and wound up finding a new game that launched out on November 21st. A game by the name of Strinova. Well, I don't typically like live service games. I don't like that monetization scheme. But Strinova has an interesting mechanic that had grabbed my attention, and I wanted to see how it worked. It's a third-person shooter where you're able to switch between a 3D character model and a 2D character model. This allows really cool things like flattening your 2D model against a wall and waiting to ambush someone running by you, or turning yourself into 2D and gliding across the map because you're just a paper person. I found it fascinating, so I wanted to try it out, and I wound up playing that for about 8 hours last night. There's some weirdness with it in the fact that I'm sharing a computer right now. My wife's account is the main account on this computer. It's her computer. And I downloaded it all on my account, launched it on my Steam, and it's like, you need to be launching this from Steam. So, trying to figure that out, I'm like, well, is it trying to launch it on her Steam instead of mine? So I logged over to hers, and yes, that was the case. I really hope they fix that kind of thing, because that's not fair to people who are sharing computers. Not only that, once I've got my computer up and running again, I think she and I will be playing that game together. It's just a really fun little blast. But as with all of those games, do not put your money into it. That's just silly to give away your money to greedy live service people. But the game is fun. Good for grinding on. I'm probably going to play that a bit more this evening when I'm done with my stream. And then as soon as I can actually get it to operate properly, I'll probably make some videos on it, because it really is fun. Which is more than I can say with my experience of things like Apex Legends or Overwatch, Fortnite, all those games. I don't like the monetization scheme, and those games didn't have playability to grab me. Strinova, on the other hand, though, it feels very much like a classic arena shooter with some interesting gimmicks, with that stringification mechanic, as they call it. Alright, let's turn off my welders, try not to kill myself, get the roof put in here. So it does look like I was potentially putting the roof down lower, but I think I have better ideas of how to do things. You bouncing thing. We just get a bunch of these plates out of my inventory and then cut up what I had put down that I don't need. Ouch. Alright, so that entire area can go. Do I have interior plates? Yes, I do. Because if I come back over here to number 4, I can put that passage in here, and that should make that wall still airtight. On the outside here, I can just leave that open as an interesting little bit of greeble, or I could throw a light armor panel over it to hide it. So I think that'll work out pretty nicely. Let's put this stuff away. Get these 2 doors. Wonder how much of that stuff I've got. Probably not all of it. I've got to be running out of things other than steel plates on here. Anything else? That's everything. So I actually have enough to get these doors online. So they don't necessarily need the glass. And let's see. This should have everything in here pressurized. Oh wait, I have... Those blocks aren't finished yet. That's not finished. Okay, med bay's all good. It's not giving me oxygen because I'm out of ice on board the ship. Okay, it all got put into the hydrogen tanks. Makes perfect sense. So we can just leave that open for now, because it won't even try pressurizing that way. Because I've got to get this completed. And the jump drive is actually going to be the hardest part to get done of everything I have in the ship here. Speaking of the ship here, and something that could be helpful overall, let's just go ahead and sneak in my piston, which I'm going to have to cut that down so I can still get into the piston itself, because all I was looking at was piston top part. All right. Drop all that. Let's just take those off of there for now. 12 large steel tubes. So I have it producing that now. Cannot draw 3 large steel tubes. So I don't think I need a super extended docking arm on here. Just one long enough to pull away from the ship and easily grab hold of a connector. Speaking of connector, grab some steel and go throw one of those on there. I do typically like to use the inset connector now that that exists, but I don't think that would look right on the end here. So I will just go ahead and use a regular one. Oh, I still need the 25 steel to put that back on. All right. 12 computers I do not have. Oh, that won't take long to get done at all. Give me computers. I do have, even though it's just one assembler, it does have 4 speed modules on it. It's pretty quick. And I need 25 steel. Just put that block back in place. There we go. This connector is used for parking, so I'll leave that on. But the connectors in the hangar cannot and will not be set up that way. So if you play a lot of Space Engineers or watch a lot of Space Engineers content from other players, then you've probably over time just gotten to where you will not use the P button. I don't blame people for that. The way it used to work, that was absolutely terrible. You just drop all of your ships. There was no way to get around that. Now there is. You just have to be careful when you're building things. Make sure that when you are putting connectors in like a hangar, that connector shouldn't be used for parking. But a connector on your small grid ship that's going in the hangar, that is used for parking. And that way you can hit P and not launch your fighter into your, or whatever ship you're carrying, into the wall and destroy it. Or, you know, if you're on the Earth-like planet, drop it off. Well, not just the Earth-like, any place that's got gravity, but I like using the P button. I wind up with a lot of other things that are going on my hotbars, as you can see looking at the Imhotep here. I don't have room to put a switch lock. This hangar is actually going together really quick. A lot quicker than the other parts did. And it is a giant empty box to just park a ship in, though. So I've been running for an hour at this point. I really want to try getting this completed today, but at the same time, it's my wife's day off, and I would feel like a complete asshole if I keep her off her computer all day. So let me see if I can get my conveyors run for this and choose where the primary thrusters are going to go. And then I'll probably wind up wrapping this up and having to change the title of the stream later, because I am not, in fact, able to finish this today. It just takes so long to do things in realistic. But it is absolutely going to be finished soon. There's just far less things to get done on it now. It's able to move, it's able to turn. I'm able to see that I forgot to pick up that steel plate. So I just need to finish the hangar. and get it more effective ability to move. Oh, look, I can get those passages there. Now if I can just move over and get the rest of this back wall welded up, hopefully without burning the side wall with my starboard thrust there. There we go. And then for getting everything finished airtight, the last thing I actually need is to get this jump drive completed. And then I'll be able to actually have airtightness. Oh no, wait, I've still got that back wall that I can't really get the Imhotep into a lot of. Let's see how close I can get it into here. How much of this I can get done with the ship. Okay, there's the edge. Now, can I get in here to get some of this wall? That is certainly cutting it close over here for maneuverability. But I think I'm actually able to get in here and get to that to some extent. Sparks are flying. You can indeed weld up that thruster if you have the stuff for it. Just be welding the wall first. Silly Imhotep ship. Yeah, I am wedged. Okay, let me out. And turn dampers back on. We got that one hole left, and I'm just gonna get some steel to fix that. Because getting the ship in and out of here is very painful. Alright, and there's a piece of wall undone. Let's get in there. Alright, so large steel tubes are all that's missing. Okay, and if I look down in here, I can see it's still not airtight because of this, which already has all of its steel. So let's see here. I have nothing in the build planner, so let's go ahead and put that in. And I'll have that ready to go for next time. I need my interior plates back. I also need to not burn my fingers right now. How did you not get welded up? You're annoying. I'll come back for you. Okay. So I was just using the vanilla conveyor piping. I need this back over here again so I can see where I need to park it, or where I need its connector. Overall, the station's looking pretty good. Turn on some lights. I really don't want to back this thing in. I can tell that the large thrusters are just going to cook my whole hangar if I do. So let's see. If I want to park it there. Yeah, let's see if that works.
Inventory full.
Here, hold on to some of these steel plates. Like, is that where I want it to be? Is the question. Okay, so it fits there. I will have to get tricky with it to get in and out, unless I'm coming in here, hit the cockpit, and it throws me back out there. Yeah, this will work. Makes it more difficult to actually get out of the ship otherwise, because the hangar is the only entrance in and out that I'm giving it. Nice temporary build with all of the basic bells and whistles and nothing else. Okay, raise that up some. Now I know where the conveyors are going. Let's do that. And a T section. Because down here I want conveyor junction. And up here, I'm going to need some of that steel. I want an inset connector. Okay. I'll take the jump drive off for right now. Let's just try to get these conveyors. Pretty sure I don't have the stuff on here for them, but I might have at least some of the stuff for my connector, which in and of itself very useful to have, because as far as what was brought up earlier by Anon, I could then use the Imhotep as a cargo ship just to bring stuff back and forth and use welders on board the ship itself. Okay, got very turned around for a moment there. Okay, you are short computers. Gotcha. I don't have any of those on board. I apparently don't have any of what I need on board anymore, or do I? No, there's still some there. I think that's probably the extent of it right there, though. Since I've got the simple airlock set up, I could actually just go ahead and leave this open instead of putting a proper hangar door on it. I might do that for a while because it certainly saves materials. It's not like the ship is meant to go flying into combat or anything. In fact, it's meant to run away from combat. Right. I was already making the jump drive stuff. Forgot about that. Now, why won't you give me my computers? There we go. With all these computers, I can get this back online. And then I need 2 more conveyors. Do I have that stuff up here? 11 motors that I am short. So make me 11 motors. And now that I remember, I'll just switch that around. Now I need 1,700 gold. So let's look at the ingot. I have 1,900 gold. Okay. So I actually have enough gold to finish that. Not sure if I have enough anything else, and that's all of my gold to get that jump drive going. I still need to finish welding that up. What else was there for edges to fix? I'm not seeing any. All right. Now up here, I'm going to put a row of blocks to give me a nice little shelf. And if I need more gyroscopes once I start filling this thing up, I will come back and put in 7 more gyros. Right here on top of this nice sloped shelf. I think that'll work out great. Yeah. Okay, so let's go park this thing. I may as well also go ahead and park my Linhart miner inside the Proteus for now. Its parking spot is ready. Oh my god, slow down. It is getting easier to drive, but it is still not easy to drive. Let's see. Drive, fly, drive, whatever. It's interesting that I keep making that mistake, considering the fact I'm a person who can't actually drive a car. Though that is mostly just because I grew up in the city. I didn't need a license. I could get anywhere I needed to on my skateboard, on a bus, or asking a friend for a ride. Now I live way out in the middle of BFE. But at least I married someone who's a driver, so that works out. Turn off that light. Alright, so with it recharging its battery here, that's going to cut me down to 7 days of power on the Proteus here. Oh yeah, this is going to be hard to get in and out of, but not so hard that I can't do it. Let's just go ahead and creep forward, see if I can get into some sunlight over here, because that'll make for a much nicer thumbnail for the next video. Since I'm doing things live stream now, I'm doing the thumbnail before the video instead of after. But I can get tomorrow's ready to go. Yeah, this thing moves. It does its job. It's looking pretty decent.